They always say the internet is dangerous, that predators hide behind screens, that you can never really know who you're talking to. My dad is a brilliant man. He built a $40 million company from nothing. He survived the worst year of his life when my mom passed. But none of that prepared him for her. And none of them were prepared for me. This is a story of how my friends and I brought down the most twisted couple in our city. Welcome to Miss Tell-It-All. And before I get into this, if your parent just started dating someone online and something feels off, stay with me. This one's for you. And don't forget to subscribe, because this story has a twist at the end that I still can't believe actually happened. My name is Ember. I'm 17. My dad, Robert, he's kind, generous, and a little too trusting. 8 months after Mom died, he started smiling at his phone again. At first, I was happy for him. Her name was Vivienne, and she came from a dating app called Elite Bond, this super exclusive platform for wealthy singles. You had to submit a background check, upload financial proof, and pay a $2,000 membership fee just to get in. Dad called it the most exclusive room in the world. Great. Even romance has a VIP section now. Vivienne claimed she was a retired architect, widowed, no kids, lived in a penthouse 2 towns over. She was, according to her profile, 44, cultured, traveled, and absolutely gorgeous. Dad talked about her every single night at dinner. Vivienne this, Vivienne that. Vivienne said the funniest thing. I kept telling myself to be happy. He deserved love again. Mom would have wanted that. And I almost left it alone. Almost. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Ember, that's an invasion of privacy. And you're right. But also, hear me out. They'd been talking for 6 weeks and hadn't met in person yet. She always had an excuse. Business trip, family emergency, migraine. Migraine, people. Then I scrolled up further, and I saw something that made my stomach drop. Vivienne had sent a voice note. I turned the volume low and played it. The voice is off. It's clearly a woman's voice, but there's something stilted about it. Almost rehearsed. And in the background, very faintly, a man's voice says something, just for a second, saying, not yet. 2 words. But those 2 words cracked everything open. Now, I need to pause here and ask you something. If you were in my position, would you say something to your dad right away? Or would you investigate first? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know, because what I chose to do changed everything. The next morning, I rushed to my locker with barely contained panic energy. I needed my people, and lucky for me, I have the best ones. Kat, the strategist, my best friend since 4th grade. Petite, sharp-tongued, type A to her core. If there's a plan to be made, Kat's already 3 steps ahead. Jisoo, the researcher. Quiet, observant, unassuming. Keeps a physical notebook in 2026 because the cloud can be subpoenaed. Her words. Dylan, the hacker. My neighbor, friend-zoned by his own choice, his words, not mine, and the most gifted tech kid at our school. He once got into the school's grade system just to see if he could. He put it back. Mostly. I need to tell you guys something, and I need you all to stay calm. They all guessed I had done something typical Ember would have done. They guessed wrong. And then I let it out. My dad is being catfished. I told them everything. The voice note, the background man, the not yet, the 6 weeks of no in-person meeting despite living 2 towns away. They listened. Then Dylan cracked his knuckles.
Dylan got the profile picture and did a quick search.
He noticed the profile photo is a stock image and has been used on at least 4 different accounts across 3 platforms. My heart sank. This wasn't just someone pretending to be available. This was organized, deliberate, and my dad was walking straight into it. Guys, if you're watching this and you have a parent who met someone online recently, please, I'm begging you, just do a quick reverse image search on their profile photo. It takes 10 seconds and it could save everything. Okay? Okay, back to the story. We needed more than digital footprints. We needed to see this woman with our own eyes. Dylan traced the IP address from the Elite Bond support tickets Dad had filed once when his account glitched. Long story. And we got a rough location. Dylan pulls up a map, a neighborhood 2 towns over. Not a penthouse district, more like a regular suburb. On a Saturday afternoon, we took Dylan's mom's minivan, borrowed under the excuse of a school project. The 4 of us parked a careful distance down the street, binoculars and phone cameras ready. We waited for 2 hours. I was starting to think we had the wrong house when the front door opened. She was nothing like the profile, nothing like the photos. She was a real person, a short, round woman with a grocery bag and reading glasses pushed up on her head. And then, behind her, a man lumbers out. Large, obese, completely bald, except for 2 thin, defiant strands of hair standing up from the very top of his head like tiny antennas trying to receive a signal from God. And in that moment, I knew it. It was the man in the background. The couple gets into their modest sedan and drives away. The 4 of us sit in stunned silence, trying to connect the dots. I felt sick. And then I felt something else. Something cold and focused and determined. In that moment, I screamed, "We're taking him down!" I know what you're thinking. Ember, call the police! And trust me, we thought about it. But here's the thing. At this point, we had no proof of a crime. No money had exchanged hands yet. Dad hadn't sent anything. Without evidence, the police couldn't do anything. So we had to get that evidence ourselves. And what happened next? I still can't believe we actually pulled it off. Jisoo did what Jisoo does. She researched. Turns out this couple had a pattern. They'd been reported twice before in neighboring counties. Always the same MO. Target lonely, wealthy widowers or widows on exclusive platforms. Build emotional connection for weeks. Then, when the target is completely hooked, hit them with a financial crisis. I'm stranded in another country and need wire transfer for emergency. Classic romance scam infrastructure. But smarter because Elite Bond's vetting made targets trust it. The woman goes by different names. Vivienne, Sylvia, Margot. Always European-coded names. Always the same profile photo set. The man never appears on any profile. He's the silent operator. He manages the money flow. They're a team. She's the face, he's the engine. The big question that was on everyone's mind was, how do we catch them in the act? And then that was when it clicked. We become them. Dylan created a new website. Clean, professional, fake. It was called Gold Key Operations, a fictional agency recruiting couples for high-commission social engineering work. Basically a fake ad that looked like someone was hiring people exactly like them. Experienced romance scammers. For what it claimed was the biggest job yet. We seeded the link carefully, through the same underground forums where Jisoo had found traces of this couple's activity. The kind of places where people like them lurked. And then, we waited. 36 hours later, a reply comes in. They bit. The email was careful and coded, but it was definitely them. Inquiring about the opportunity, asking about payment structure, mentioning they were semi-retired but willing to come back for the right job. Okay, I need everyone watching this to take a breath with me, because this is the part where everything either goes perfectly or falls completely apart. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss how this ends, because the next part, absolutely unhinged. We were happy we got a reply, but then silence. 3 days, nothing. We panicked, thinking they had caught on or one couple had decided against it. Or maybe, just maybe, they didn't want to come off as desperate. And we were right, because what happened next confirmed it. A new email arrives from a different address, the wife's personal one, accidentally CC'd. It read like an argument fragment. This is our last one. After this, we stop. For good, I promise. Just this one. In that moment, I felt something strange. Almost sympathy? These were real people. Flawed, criminal, dangerous people. But real. She was fighting for something in that email. Maybe a way out. Maybe just one more score before they disappeared. And then I remembered my dad's face when he laughed at his phone. And the sympathy evaporated. Dylan arranged a preliminary meeting through the fake Gold Key persona. Neutral location, public coffee shop, to discuss terms. He used a voice changer app and a temporary Google Voice number for the calls. The couple agreed, and on the day of, myself, the girls, and Dylan were parked outside. Jisoo has a small recording device. Dylan has his laptop in the back seat. I had already called the non-emergency police tip line and has an officer on standby she's been communicating with for days, because of course I planned ahead. We weren't going in ourselves. We had an adult. We'd reached out to Mr. X, our school's IT teacher, who had helped us understand what we'd found and agreed to assist after Jisoo showed him everything we documented. He sat inside the cafe, posing as the representative. The couple walked in. The husband was uncomfortable. He kept looking around. She kept touching his arm. He didn't want to be there. You could see it in every part of him. But he came because she asked him to, because she said it was the last time. Mr. X greeted them, shook hands, spoke carefully scripted lines. The conversation was being recorded. And then right on cue, exactly as Dylan had planned, Mr. X asked them to confirm their previous work to establish credibility. The wife leaned forward, started talking. Dates, methods, targets, neighborhoods, dollar amounts, all of it, spilling out like she'd been holding it in forever, proud of a career she'd never been able to brag about. The husband stared at the table, silent, ashamed. But there, like the supportive husband he is, two officers who had been seated at a nearby table, alerted by Jisoo's contact, stood up. The wife's face changed the second she saw them, a slow collapse of composure, like a building coming down floor by floor. The husband didn't move. He just closed his eyes. It wasn't dramatic like in the movies. No running, no shouting. She reached across the table and took his hand. He squeezed it. And then they were both standing and the officers were talking and it was over. The police charged them with fraud, wire fraud conspiracy, and identity theft. Turns out this had been going on for 4 years. 11 confirmed victims in 3 counties. The total amount they'd extracted from other victims, just over $380,000. My dad never sent a single dollar. They hadn't gotten that far yet. I told my dad everything. I sat down, showed him the folder Priya had compiled, walked him through all of it. He went very quiet for a long time. And then he cried. Not angry crying, just sad. Embarrassed. Lonely person crying. And I just sat with him. He deleted the app. Hasn't been on it since. He joined a grief counseling group, for real this time, with actual humans in a church basement on Tuesday nights. He seems lighter. I think he needed permission to grieve Mom properly before he could let anyone new in. Kat is already calling our little operation the Ember Files and is drafting a pitch for a podcast. Jisoo has 17 pages of documented methodology that she submitted as her AP research project. Dylan got a DM from a cybersecurity firm asking if he was available for internship. He is 15. 15! And me? I learned that love makes people vulnerable. Even brilliant people. Even people who built companies from nothing. That's not weakness. That's just being human. But I also learned that the people who love those vulnerable humans, we have to pay attention. We have to be brave enough to look closer, even when it's uncomfortable, even when we're scared of what we'll find.
So here's what I need from you. If something feels off, a new person in your parents' life, a relationship moving too fast, excuses for why they can't meet in person, trust your gut. Do the reverse image search. Talk to your friends. Make a folder like Jisoo would. You don't have to be a hacker. You just have to pay attention. And if you went through something like this, or something worse, drop it in the comments below. You are not alone. Someone will read it. Maybe someone who needs to hear that they're not alone either. Subscribe if you're new here. Leave a like if you stayed through the whole thing. And go hug your dad, or your mom, or whoever you've got. I'll see you in the next one.